Madison Square Garden, where the bright lights of Broadway shine on a Rangers team that has been cruising through the playoffs.
We are immersed in a new era of hockey here in South Florida. Fear the Cat.
This is the time of year where we get to have some fun.
Two best teams in the East, no surprise here.
It all comes down to a best of 7 between these two powers.
You look at both of these teams and you try to find a weakness. I don't know where you look.
They're not going to go down without a fight.
This is the series I'd be watching.
Bobrovsky with a robbery! Beautiful pass and they score! They're hanging! Does it again in the playoffs! The Rats fly! And it's rough and it's mean.
That's what playoff hockey's all about.
And Matthew Tkachuk dropped into the ice!
Two teams that deserve to be competing to go to the Stanley Cup Final.
We've been waiting all year for this moment to do what we didn't do last year.
Brandon Montour lets it rip from the line! Sends it Trocheck! Double overtime! Panthers are moving on. The Rangers are heading back to the Eastern Conference Final.
And what a conference final it shall be. The Panthers and the Rangers dropping the puck coming up Wednesday nights at MSG. You can see these two teams and what they've done to this point in the playoffs. The Panthers 8-3, the Rangers 8-2. Aside from that, pretty similar statistics on both sides of these columns here. You can see the slight edge to the Rangers when it comes to the power play. But, Torch, you were just saying goals against, a little low for you, or at least you were surprised by those numbers.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job against Boston, and that was the difference maker. And Bobrovsky was pretty solid in net for him, and he had to outplay probably the hottest goalie in the playoffs, Swayman.
You know, it's fitting that these two teams are going to meet with each other. They each won their division. They both had fantastic records during the regular season. And they play playoff hockey. And what I mean by that is it's in-your-face hockey. You know, they've got speed. They've got toughness. And I'm really looking forward to this series because they're going to lay it on the line. Both of these teams, you know, each of them thinking they can win a Stanley Cup. They've got to get past each other, and this will be a real duel.
All right, we're going to go who has the edge. A couple of different components on this one. Connie, I'll start with you. Goaltending. Who's got the edge?
Well, even though Shesterkin has been playing better, I think Bobrovsky has the edge here because of the experience that he gained last year in the playoffs, going all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. And I look at Shesterkin, and listen, he's been fantastic, especially against Carolina. He wasn't really tested against the Islanders, but Bobrovsky, I think he knows what it takes to get to that next level. And, you know, Shesterkin has done it a couple of times, but Bobrovsky, especially with the recency effect of going to the finals last year, I think that just gives him, Torch, in my mind, a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, I mean, I like Bobrovsky and what he's done for the team, but I got to go with Shesterkin. He's got 30 of 31 games in the playoffs where he's only given up 3 goals or less, and I think that's a big part. You've seen it in the third period of Game 6 against the Canes. He basically held the team together till they came back from a 3-1 lead that they were losing, and they came back from and won the game. They probably had about 6 great A's that he did, and that was the difference maker in them clinching that series against the Canes.
All right, split decision when it comes to in between the pipes. How about special teams? Who has the edge in that one, Connie?
Well, I think the New York Rangers do, especially when it comes to the power play. Their power play, not only during the regular season, but in the postseason, has been nothing short of fantastic. And when you get guys like Trocheck and Panarin moving the puck, and you got a guy like Chris Kreider who knows exactly where to be in and around the net, they are lethal. And, you know, when you talk about playoff hockey, most coaches will tell you, you try and play even 5-on-5, you try and win the special teams. The power play for the New York Rangers could be a difference maker. So I think for special teams, and especially, too, Torch, with all the penalties that the Florida Panthers take, they're an in-your-face team. You know, they play with a little bit of an edge. Sometimes they cross that edge. They'll probably take more penalties than the Rangers, and that I think I give the advantage there, special teams, to the Rangers.
Yeah, they were lights out all season long in their power play, but against the Canes, the first 3 games, I believe they had 14 power play chances, and guess what? That's what won that series. They had a 3-0 lead against a team that was in the top 3 penalty kill in the regular season, the Canes. So it's a big benefit to go into a game knowing that if your power play gets more than 3 chances on the power play, that you're probably going to score a goal. So that's a big plus for them, for me, even though Florida had a great series against Boston with their power play.
All right, goaltending special teams always plays such a massive role, but most of the game played at even strength. So 5-on-5, who's got the edge?
You know, this is where I give it to Florida, and part of the reason is I just love Florida's defense. And I got an opportunity to watch a kid who's really, you know, kind of taken the next step in the NHL, Gustav Forsling. And remember the start of the season, Ekblad was out, Montour was out, and Gustav Forsling was asked to do things that those number 1 and 2 defensemen were asked to do, and he did it very well. And he's taken that next step. And, you know, they've added guys in the back end, too. Nikola, big body back there. You know, big body who not necessarily very aggressive, but he can move people in front of the net. I just like the way that the Florida Panthers defense works, whether it's blocking shots, whether it's moving bodies in front of the net. You know, they contribute with goals too. That's the other thing. Ekblad and Forsling. You look at the goals that they scored from the back end. That's a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and they had 6 goals against in 11 games in the playoffs. Forsling and Ekblad. I mean, big body. Forsling go back, exits, makes great passes, has great speed on his breakouts, has great gaps. That was the difference against the Canes. I mean, for Florida beating Boston, their gaps through the neutral zone, fantastic gaps, taking away time and space, making Pastrnak try and dump the puck behind them, not giving them the front ice to make plays and try to be offensive like he usually is. Make him have to go 200 feet and become a great forechecker. And that's going to be something for Panarin's going to have to figure out, and Trocheck's going to have to figure out how to beat that tandem and get some goals 5-on-5.